It's a beautiful day for some DSA, and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. My name is Cozy Gamer, and for today's video, my friends, we're going to be going over the top 20 characters to bring to Gear 8. Now, Cozy Club, Gear 8 is super important within Disney Sorcerer's Arena, mainly because it is the last gear level right now available within the game. Now, Gear 8 is going to be bringing characters new abilities and some majorly increased stats. And this is a great way, without reworking characters altogether, to make certain characters viable again. And there's going to be characters on this list that we talk about today even that went up big time in the meta and overall tier list because of their Gear 7 to Gear 8 bump up. Now, the full Gear 8 tier list will be coming out sometime in the next 2 weeks, but for now, we're going to be looking at the top 20 characters that you want to bring up because, again, resources are so scarce within this game, especially when making the jump from T7 to T8. You're going to be locked behind the raids and Ursula to be getting the raid gear in order to bring them up, and then if that wasn't enough, you also have got to get the instance, so you really want to make sure you know exactly who to take up. So Cozy Club, you want to look at your roster and identify what teams you use in Club Conquest, Raids, and PvP, and then look at what character that you could bring up to Gear 8 that's going to help all three game modes in all. And let me tell you, Cozy Club, there are some characters that are by a large margin some of the best characters to bring up, and they're going to be doing some crazy damage numbers, crazy healing, whatever it might be. They're going to really increase in their overall role. So if you've caught my Twitch stream, you guys have seen us go over stats within DSA a ton. It's one of my favorite things about the game, looking at the numbers, crunching the numbers to see the best possible characters in teams. Now, T7 to T8 is going to be bringing some very important stats, and if you don't know the stats within DSA, go ahead and check the video up above. That'll help explain it really well. It's an older video, but definitely helps you understand what each stat does within your character's overall set. So if you look closely at your T7 characters, you can see exactly what they get when they bump up to T8, and we're seeing more and more characters. People venture out in T8 different characters. However, one thing to notice is that there's some stats that reign supreme over the other ones. You guys already know speed is king within the game, and critical power and critical chance are some really great stats that if your character gets that upgrade going to T8, well, they're obviously going to be better than ones that don't get it. Now, high-hitting characters like Elsa didn't get big stat increases. However, she will get an overall offense bump up, but there are some characters that got some crazy things added to their kit. And not to mention, when they get to T8, they also unlock the full possibility of their kit, being able to unlock some huge abilities. So we're going to measure both stats and the move sets. And with all that being said, Cozy Club, there's a lot to digest, but I want to make sure you guys understand. Let's go ahead and start off with number 20. So starting off with Lotso, perfect example of a character that gets some great recovery stats to really help out his healing. And then he also gets a speed increase, which the pink fuzzy bear is pretty slow on the battlefield. So glad he's getting that. Not to mention, he gets 3 T8 ability upgrades, and the one that I want to highlight is Lock 'em Up. His assist calling attack, he can call people to attack, and they're going to get offense up and really deliver some huge blows. So very excited about Lotso's overall viability in Club Conquest. He's starting to really help out, and I like pairing him up with Miguel to feed Zerg more and more. So Lotso is definitely one of the best bang for your bucks for the sheer amount of abilities and overall unlocking that you can do for his kit. Next up on the board is Violet, which I know we started with Lotso, now we're at Violet. We're just hitting all of the bangers, the most popular characters in DSA, right? Guys, no kidding. Violet sky rockets in viability. She is okay at T7, obviously was the forgotten child in the Incredibles family. However, when she goes to T8, my gosh, the synergy just bumps up a ton. Her stat increases are great for recovery. She gets great speed overall as well, getting a plus 10 speed. And guys, the dash synergy is no joke. Now, I keep teasing about this incredible video. We're going to get around to it. But she can call Dash to assist. Dash is going to call her to assist. You're going to have overall just huge amounts of synergy within the Incredibles. And overall, their viability just jumps through the roof. Not to mention, Cozy Club, her shielding can rival some of the strongest healers and shielders within the game from her bump up to T7 to T8. And she gets an ability to gain an extra turn whenever she does pretend I'm not here. So overall, Cozy Club, Violet is a great definition of this video. A great bang for your buck and a character that's going to soar up through the tier list if you do invest into her T8. People are going to think I'm saying this just because I have a T8 Violet, and for the record, it was on accident because I accidentally equipped stuff, but she's still an amazing character, guys, and the incredible synergy overall goes up a lot. Number 18 is a name that we haven't heard in a while. After that big kind of fixed nerf to his AoE, the Big Bad Wolf is coming in at number 18 on the rise for characters you want to take to T8. Now, first of all, he still has that huge AoE taunt removal, which is only going to go up with his offensive stats, but he also gets speed for a slow character, very important. Overall offense, and guys, one of those characters that get an ability at T8 that significantly raises his value. In sheep's clothing is going to get an extra turn if you're able to kill off the enemy. And guys, people like Sean Yu and Moana already have this. Mix this into Big Bad Wolf, and are we looking at like a team that can just keep getting turns as they kill people? I don't know. It's exciting overall, and it really complements Big Bad Wolf's kit altogether. So excited about him. I don't have him up myself, but it's definitely one that I have my eyes on. The sensational 3, soon to be 6, guys, is on the rise, not only within the meta news, but also within DSA. Daisy and Donald are not getting enough love, mainly because there are not enough of them out there. But guys, Donald Duck can hit like a truck. He's a tank and has just a great overall kit that's going to age well within Disney Sorcerer's arena. Now, him and Daisy have incredible synergy, and that's only going to skyrocket when you bring Donald up to T8. Now, first of all, y'all, the stat increases on Donald is sensational. He's going to get 20% tenacity, which quickly tenacity is going to prevent harmful effects. 20% tenacity is nothing to laugh at, my friends. It's going to be great merriment to his kit overall. And then also, guys, him and Daisy just complement each other so well, and you'll see Daisy here in just a hot minute. Spoiler alert. She's going to be next up on our list, and these two to Gear 8 together are going to cause some havoc within some of the game modes within DSA, and this is without even seeing the rest of the sensational 6. So I'm excited to see all together what they look like as a unit. Again, I think they're going to be a great team. They've got a lot of defensive things going for them, and we definitely need a defensive team within Sorcerer's tournament. So we already spoiled this, you guys know, but Daisy is actually a spot ahead of Donald at number 16. Now, let me tell you guys, Daisy Duck is getting 0 love, and she is one of the fastest characters within the game. I believe she's the 3rd fastest base speed under Dash and Go-Go. How many of you guys are like, oh yeah, the fastest characters in the game? Dash, Go-Go, Daisy? No, guys, Daisy is the first to see the huge stat increases that we'll be talking about today. You'll notice a lot of characters with this specific stat increase are going to be on this list. She's going to get plus 30% critical damage, which is like just so many stones worth of critical damage, and then also 10% critical chance, which is more than we see in leaderships and more than is capable in stones altogether. So really good stuff to work with her AoEs, and with Donald altogether, she's going to gain even more speed. And again, if you take Daisy up, you've got to take Donald. I just noticed my lights weren't on. Hey, that's better. All right, guys. So coming in at number 15, this is what gets me excited about Gear Tier 8. And let me tell you, number 15 is going to be none other than Sven. And guys, this reindeer has been a character with a lot of potential, but has been kind of relying on the Frozen faction to really carry his overall value. But now that we're getting assist teams really kind of skyrocketing up in the meta, and I'm assuming we're going to see more of this, Sven is a character that is rocking up the meta charts, guys, and his T8 upgrades are phenomenal. Now, if you don't know already, reindeer are better than people, and Belle and Sven have a great merriment that really brings all together a great squad. But guys, Sven gets exactly what marries his kit so perfectly. With a character that hits some of the hardest basics within the game, he's going to get a 30% crit chance increase, crit damage, and then table scraps is going to get a big bump up as well, being able to gain helpful effects to have him hit even harder. So overall, I think DSA did Sven a very good justice, kind of marrying his kit with also some great damage numbers, and I'm actually enjoying my Gear 8 Sven. This is actually one of the characters that I brought up myself. Sven is going to be great in all modes. Raids, he's a great damage dealer that can really stack up damage on Ursula. And then also, guys, he is just hitting like a tank within PvP. Now, it's not the top meta team. But guys, it's something to be feared, and I can definitely take down Super Silence and some of those other great teams. Let's jump on over to number 14, and it's going to be another Frozen favorite, Anna. Now, Anna's a great support and a plug-and-play support at that, but she's been falling off a bit with the likes of Honey Lemon and the rise of Cobra Bubbles just being dominant within the meta. However, at tier 8, Anna gets some great speed increases. She gets potency for her AoE offensive down, and then most importantly, she is going to get a nice little bump up to This Is the Way, guys. Now, it'll be adding 15% chance to decrease speed turn meter overall. So if you don't have tactics, this is a great way to kind of manage speed turn meter over on the enemy. I'm really getting invested into my Kingdom team, and one thing I noticed is they're not going to be the fastest bunch of characters out on the board. However, they can definitely control speed meter, and once they get turns, they can manipulate the battlefield and really get the tide turning their way. So Anna is definitely on my list to bring up, and I'm excited that she's getting even better as a support character, as a lot of players I've already invested so much in her. Now, number 13 got her own video. You guys already know she's been on the rise for the last couple weeks. Mulan and the Princess Synergy has her skyrocketing through the meta as well. She's going to get a speed increase, some great offense damage overall bump up. But guys, the AoE damage from Fiery Distraction is phenomenal. If you didn't know, her second ability what used to just be a single target damage and could put some slows out there, but now it is just doing some devastating damage. Now, it's still on cooldown to start the battle. She still kind of relies on that silence first ability and then some great basic assists. So when you take a character to gear 8, you want to make sure that they're going to be useful in battle a lot. And with Mulan assisting so much on a Kingdom or a Princess team, you're going to be getting a lot of that offense use right out the gate with her. You can get silences on the field. Overall, Mulan's just a solid unit. For number 12, it's actually my next character that I'll be taking up to gear 8. It is none other than Robin Hood. And hopefully we got some Robin Hood fans. Let me know down in the comments if you're pumped that Robin Hood is on this list. Guys, we've been sleeping on Robin Hood's potential. Now, again, if you watch me on Twitch, you've definitely heard a lot of this before. I'm a big Robin Hood fan, but looking at what he gets a stat increase of 10 speed, plus 10% crit chance, plus 30% crit power to the crit god himself, who's going to be feeding out guaranteed crits. Look at this ability Trick Shot. Look at the raw damage that Robin Hood can pump out. He ignores defense. He can give guaranteed crit. His passive favorable odds is going to work beautifully with Belle, with Mulan, with Shan Yu, and guys, Robin Hood all together gets everything you're looking for. A great ability upgrade, a great stat increase, and can do some great damage, and also overall just support your team when he's not helping. Now, one last thing, just as an added bonus that people don't know, he can extend helpful effects. And so Beast right now, one of those characters that can't really tank on his own, but with Robin Hood, you can do a double taunt, which is really going to help him out or help out characters with those single taunts like Maui. Now, Robin Hood is definitely a character that you should start paying attention to. Number 11 is the King of the Sea, King Triton. Will be landing at number 11. Obviously, one of the best characters within the raids, has the best lead, has really great abilities, and T8 is only going to highlight his overall effectiveness. So looking at his upgrades, he does get plus 10 speed, which is obviously great, but he's going to get offense and defense upgrades as well, which is going to marry his kit very well. You notice I have kit design up here, and my friends, King Triton goes between Enraged and Reasonable. And a Reasonable Merman is going to get a really needed upgrade to make Triton bump up to some PvP value. Right now, Triton's really solid within the raids and somewhat club conquest, but in PvP just doesn't really marry well with that game mode. However, with these upgrades, definitely helps him out a ton, definitely skyrockets, been using that term a lot, but does skyrocket his overall viability in the raids. Looking at Reasonable Merman, you're pretty much just sending out your Ariel to go be killed. If Ariel is defeated, King Triton's going to be gaining both Enraged and Reasonable. So you don't have to flip off between one or the other. He's going to be getting great effect bonuses overall with each ability because he'll have both, doing great damage and also being a phenomenal support. So definitely a character that you can upgrade with no hesitation. If your club is struggling still with the raid, definitely one that I would recommend. I'm not doing it because we're kind of got the raid on auto at this point. But if you're struggling and you want some great damage numbers, King Triton, I recommend to take him up. All right, Cozy Club, we are closing in at the top 10. And speaking of the number 10, my friends, we are almost at 10,000 subs. Now, before we go ahead and get to that top 10, just want to say about 50% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you're enjoying these videos and you don't mind clicking that red button, I'm trying to get to 10,000 by year's end. Hopefully we can get that achievement all together as the Cozy Club. And my friends, let's move on to number 10. Now, guys, Shan Yu has been hibernating, sleeping while the meta has been rising. He's been gathering strength. And just when you think he's down, he's rising right back up. Guys, Shan Yu is starting to become viable again, and it's a large thanks to his tier 8. Now, let me go ahead and break down exactly what happens at tier 8 for Shan Yu. What we were talking about earlier is Kingdom excels excessively at not only having fast speed overall, they're not the fastest out there, but they can manipulate the battlefield by taking turn meter and then also giving it to themselves and other allies. Now, Shan Yu is a perfect example of that because whenever he does a critical strike, he'll be removing up to 40% turn meter. And guys, Bow to Me is going to get another upgrade at tier 8 that I don't think people are looking at. Guys, check this out. Bow to Me is going to be giving Shan Yu a 30% chance to increase his speed meter by 30% when dealing a critical strike. So not only is he going to be removing 40% turn meter, he's going to be giving himself 30% turn meter, making him a great lead. And on top of that, look at this stat increase, my friends. He's going to be getting plus 10% critical chance, which is going to marry again perfectly with his kit, and plus 30% crit power for a character that relies on this synergy of critical damage. And so excited about Shan Yu. Glad that we've got this character we all invested in that we can use again. And he's one of the characters that I've personally taken up. Coming at number 9 in Cozy Club, this character didn't need to get any better, and he already is amazing, and now he's just nuclear. Number 9 is going to be Emperor Zerg, my friends, with Zerg Vision getting a huge damage increase, and overall his offensive stat and just his whole kit design, where if he gets that first kill, he's an assassin, he gets another turn. You're just going to be looking at a very strong Zerg. Now, Cozy Club, just in case you guys didn't know, Zerg is one of the most efficient ways to just completely destroy beasts because a dead beast is obviously a useless beast. Zerg is going to be getting some nice damage. He's getting an increase in speed, which he didn't even need. More offense to go with his kit. Great character to punch up some good solid damage within the raids, and then also again that plus 20% bonus damage on Zerg Vision just makes Zerg a no-brainer for your downtown villain gear 8. Which brings me to a great point, my friends. You want to look at all of your factions and kind of prioritize who you want to take up to gear 8. Now, downtown villains is easy. Obviously, Emperor Zerg is probably the one that's going to get those microchips. However, things like Kingdom and Downtown is a lot tougher. Downtown heroes, very tough. A lot of effective heroes at that level. So you want to make sure that you prioritize within your own rosters who to take up. Number 8 is a character that I'm excited about, and it just seems like as long as this game keeps going on, they just keep getting better and better, and that's going to be the Onward duo, mainly looking at Ian here. Ian at gear 8 is going to get a very nice increase. Looking here, he's going to get plus 10 speed. He's getting everything you want. Plus 10 speed, plus 10% crit chance, and plus 30% crit power on an overall damaging move that needs crit damage and needs crit power. And from Barley, he's already going to get some big attacks from that guaranteed crit. So you're just kind of enhancing a kit that is already beautifully made. Not to mention, when he goes up to T7, his first ability can spread helpful effects. And then Voltar, his second big special, will be hitting plus 20% bonus damage for the harmful effects out on the field. Guys, Ian is one of those untapped territories that I think has a lot of potential, and in fact might be one of the best gear 8s within the game. And that's really the thing about Onward. You either need to be all in or kind of all out, because if you go all in, you've got to pay attention to the rest of the trio. You want to enhance them all together. Of course, there's some in the community that love that, but guys, Ian, start putting him on your radar. Number 7 is everybody's favorite Ice Queen, Elsa. Now look, Elsa actually doesn't get that great of stat increases overall, but because she's Elsa, because of her raw damage, she's already an incredible character, and her overall kit design really is unmatched. And so going to gear 8, she's going to be able to use Show Yourself with even bigger damage. She's going to be doing a 2-turn silence now with Force of Nature when she's empowered, and then she's Elsa, right? So Not a lot needed to be said here. Elsa is number 7. Number 6 is Davy Jones, that have continued to be on the rise, and one of those characters that you want to invest in now because we know the Ursula meta is upon us. Now, looking at Davy Jones, he gets some of the best T8 ability upgrades. He's going to be able to continue to call the undead as people die, which is going to be helpful both in raids and then also PvP. But also the Kraken, which is one of his most devastating abilities, will get an upgrade. One of the fastest Oceanics gets even faster with plus 10 speed and more offense to boot. The guy is going to be kicking over 3,000 offense with the 15% attack stone. Guys, Kraken upgrade. He gets the huge recruit, the Fallen upgrade. And overall, Davy Jones is a very safe bet as the future meta will probably rely on him. Rocking in at number 5 is going to be the newest legendary Beast, my friends. And Beast is, of course, we've already said Beast is a beast. He's actually probably one of my favorite characters within the game. The fact that he takes some of the most strategy to use within battle and that you can change your mind and kind of go less aggressive or more tanky within the midst of the battlefield is something that is very unique to Beast. However, when he jumps over to T8, that offense piece of him is going to go way up. His offense numbers go through the roof, and with the amount of countering in his kit design, he definitely just gets a lot more solid of a damage user. He's one of those characters like Bubbles that punish the enemy the more that your teams hit. So he protects Belle, he protects himself, and he's going to hit some great countering damage. Not to mention Master the Castle, he'll be gaining even more turn meter, or kind of stealing that from the enemy and giving himself more and more turns. And then just take a look. He gets plus 10 speed, plus 20 tenacity on top of the already enchanted Rose mechanics, which is going to have his defense and tenacity through the roof. Guys, he's a great character to invest in overall and a no-brainer. Now, Beast is really helpful within the raids and in all game modes altogether, but not quite as much as number 4, who's going to be just... he's just crazy within the raids. And then PvP, he is a nightmare to go up against, counter some of the top teams. Number 4 is going to be Experiment 626 Stitch, my friends. Looking at stat increases, he gets plus 10 speed, which is really going to help him just be involved with his tech team overall. A blue punch buggy is going to hit even harder, which its damage numbers are ridiculous. And then it gets an upgrade that if this ability defeats an opponent, Stitch is going to gain 20% speed turn meter for each Oceanic teammate, which... spoiler, it usually destroys an opponent. So you're going to be getting more speed with Stitch, building up that basic even faster. And that's kind of where Stitch lies. Like, you don't know if to use his abilities or build his basic. And then, of course, lastly, you guys know he does great damage in the raids, and that's only going to exceed his numbers. Now, coming in at number 3 is, in my opinion, arguably the best Gear 8. The top 3 are all arguably amazing. Number 1 kind of has his own niche to kind of spoil that a little bit. But number 3, Go-Go. Her damage is ridiculous. She already has top speed within the game. She's already lapping your opponents like you lapped your 5-year-old brother in Mario Kart. And now Go-Go is going to have the damage to complement it. Now, she doesn't get any abilities really that are going to matter that much in the upgrade, but the stat increases specifically on the crit damage and crit chance is going to just be ridiculous. The damage numbers, you'll see, just check this out, guys. Huge damage potential. You can essentially wipe teams within 2 turns, guys. Speed stone, attack stone, whatever team she's on, she's going to do great. And then also to boot, a very solid raid character. We're going to be seeing a lot more of these come out in the battlefield, and Bubbles is really the only way to kind of counteract her with all of those hits. Now, Bubbles didn't make the list. Very good T8 character, but he didn't quite make this list for bang for buck. But Bubbles is already an incredible character. Also, looking at Go-Go, the opening damage, like I said, insane. Fastest character within the game, right there with Dash, but under that hero Hamada. Fastest character, no brainer. Take Go-Go up to T8. Now, the top 3 all happen to be downtown heroes, which makes this really tough on a resource standpoint. So again, look at your roster. But number 2 is the Flash, the Dash, gonna be hyping him all the way up to the top meta, guys. Dash's damage gets through the charts. Now, again, he's gonna be getting critical power, critical chance on a character like Shan Yu that just marries perfectly with the crit stats altogether. Dash is just doing ridiculous damage in the raids. Marry him with Maurice, and he's able to have free-to-play compete with even the best pay-to-play players in the whales of the world. Dash is just a free-to-play dream that won't be unlocked until a little bit later. He's arguably the best character, like we've talked about, marries with other characters amazingly, and is just a overall solid character. Him and Go-Go are both a toss-up right now for the best T8 damage dealers, but if you go into Dash, just know you're going to leave with a very solid investment. And lastly, for the #1 spot, I'm sure this is all a shock to everybody, and it really, it's kind of sad, but I'm happy for the hero himself, and that is Hero Hamada coming in at #1, and it is all, let's just get right to it. His leadership Cozy Club is going to be getting 5% per tech and per Big Hero 6 teammate for overall speed. There's just no way to match that. There's no way. If you go up another hero and you have all the T8s, but not a T8 hero, and you're rocking tech, you're just not going to be able to compete. The speed is so much, and he's already such a great plug-and-play character that can upgrade people. He can upgrade Baymax to get all 3 effects now, and he gets speed to boot on top of that with his T8 upgrade. Hero Hamada remains one of the best characters in the game, and he is going to be the best investment at Gear 8. Simply because of that leadership and overall viability. Now, if you're not using tech, you can skip him. However, you're going to have a hard time to kind of catch up with those other very fast enemies you'll be facing. And Cozy Club, that's it. That is all top 20 characters to bring from Gear 7 to Gear 8. And you guys are going to notice a huge bump up in viability for all those characters. Now, if they were left off this list, let me know down in the comments below who you think got a great upgrade. Doesn't mean they're not a good character overall. This was just the top 20. Best bang for your buck upgrade, my friends. You know, I'm glad there's more than 20. I could have put a lot more on this list and made this a top 50, but these are the top 20 recommendations that I have, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today's videos. Let's see if we can get it up to 500 likes, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed, and as always, Cozy Club, until next time, stay cozy, my friends.